We'll start the public hearing for pre-bargaining. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll skip the Pledge of Allegiance at our actual board meeting.
Yes.
Is that okay? Sorry. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Please let the record show that all board members are present.
This public hearing is being held pursuant to IC 2029-6-1, prior to the beginning of formal bargaining of the teachers' collective bargaining agreement for the period beginning July 2nd, 2025. For the audience's reference, the only items which can be bargained and included in the term of the bargaining agreement are salaries, wages, and wage-related benefits. The 2025 formal bargaining season began September 15th, 2025, for agreements which can be for a period of 1 or 2 years only. Anyone wishing to provide testimony in this hearing may stand and be recognized. Provide your name and address, and then address the board and the association representatives. Is there anyone who would like to provide a comment?
Good evening. My name is Amy Hardesty Asher. I live at 397 North, 725 West. I'm the UTTA president. So I would like to address the board. Today, as we open negotiations for a new contract, we do so in a climate that feels different. One where there is a renewed commitment to transparency from the corporation. And that's just not noted, it's appreciated. For too long, our voices have been strong, but not always heard. This time, we've come to the table with cautious optimism, ready to engage in a process that is more open, more honest, more collaborative than in years past. Transparency builds trust, and in trust is the foundation we need to bargain a contract that truly honors the work we do. Our priorities remain clear: fair compensation, sustainable workloads, professional respect, and the resources to do what is best for our students. We believe with greater openness on both sides, we have a real opportunity to reach an agreement that reflects the true value of educators, not just in words, but in actions. Let's move forward together with unity, clarity, and purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Asher. Anyone else? Seeing none, the hearing is now closed. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion adjourned.
Thank you very much. Clock shows 6 o'clock, huh? Clock shows 5 minutes to go. 6 o'clock. I'll be done. I'm sorry.
Call our September board meeting to order. And let the record state that all board members are present. We will ask that for any public expression, please sign in on the table on my left. And that if you do want to have public expression, please remember to keep it to about 3 minutes. Thank you. And we will begin with Bearcat Nation highlights.
All right, I am really excited. Last year we had a similar presentation, and this year we have Mrs. Asher and Mr. Gage, who will present on their presentations for receiving the Lilly Grant. And this is the Teacher Creative Fellowship. I will tell you, a lot of work goes into preparing these grants. I fully know because I started one and didn't get it finished. And didn't get to go on any of these wonderful trips. But it is very exciting. I know we have a few teachers who have already submitted their applications for next year's, and we hope to continue promoting this and making sure that our teachers have an opportunity to experience this. So Mrs. Asher is first.
Okay, let's change hats.
Love her to run right through.
All right, I'm trying really hard not to turn this into a family field trip video. If you're old enough to remember when you got invited to dinner to somebody's house and they pulled out the slide reel, I'm not going to do that, but I do want to share some highlights. So my Lilly Grant, this is the first time I tried it. I was very fortunate that I did get it the very first time I applied for it. I had an idea, and so this is what we did. I had the idea to write a grant to adopt, train, and explore nature with a therapy dog. So There are lots of whys. I did a lot of research on the reasoning behind having a therapy dog. A lot of schools in our area do have them. So I really talked to a lot of teachers and community members in those communities to find out what was the impact on their students, what was the impact on their staff. Our staff will tell you the impact on them is probably just as much as it is on the students. So. These are just some photos. I'm going to talk a little bit more about my trips, but I really feel like the therapy dog, part of it was really my main focus. The travel was more part of kind of training him along the way, so it was kind of incorporated. They do want you to do something that personally renews you, and mine is a little different because most of them end, mine does not end. So it's kind of ongoing. Well, it's kind of ongoing. So he loves to go to offices. He loves to hang out with the adults. He loves to hang out with the kids. He's very chill when he's in my room. He is off leash. He kind of picks his favorite table of the day and kind of just lays down and takes a nap after the kids come in. I don't know that it would be the same if I didn't have a 40-minute transition because of my position. It works out fabulous. Every 40 minutes I switch groups. He takes a break. We rock around the hallways. I do have a time during the day that I can take him to visit rooms. Some of the hallway in the morning, end of the day. We kind of are constantly seeing kids. Teachers will have kids write to him, other things that we'll talk about, and we'll go visit them. Like today we made a trip to first grade. The suspicious class had them write letters to us. They recorded reading their letters to us, so Cooper had to go visit and take them stickers today, so it was fabulous. So we have done really cool things with it. We did some travel. Cooper actually owns Biltmore Estate now. He went to Martin's territory, so he's now the full owner of Biltmore. They just have to, they haven't got notice. We got to visit the Redwoods. Cooper did not get to go into the Redwood Park because it's very limited. It's the areas he can go to. It was also July, so he did not actually go to Redwood with me. We did go to state parks. We visited, I think the last count I had, we did 11 out of 24 over the last year and a half. You get your grants in, you find out in February, and it starts February of 24, and then it goes through and finishes in August of this year. So it's kind of not a year, it's a little bit longer. So we actually got to visit Hardesty Mountain, a relative of mine who left Porter County, went to Oregon. So there's a mountain out there. Again, we spent a lot of time exploring state parks, a lot of times just hiking. He's always happy when he's out and seeing people and being on the trail. It was a lot more work than I ever thought. I'll be totally honest with you. It was like at times having a toddler all over again. Oh, dear God, what did he do? And it was like, and I did contact him at one point. I'm like, what if he doesn't make it, right? Like, what if he doesn't pass this test? Am I held accountable that I now have this doggy failure? And they're like, oh no, you wrote it to like go the route, and he did pass. He was like, there were times that I thought it's not gonna make it, but he did. So we also created a ton of resources that I use in my classroom. We've done projects. He actually has his own Canvas page. Thank you to the tech department. They helped me work out some logistics. They all have like daily announcements from Cooper. Like we'll have, kids will write to them, we'll take pictures. So they get announcements from Cooper. We've worked, I'll talk a little bit about, Mr. Dickey does art coloring pages for him. He does how to draw Cooper. We really try to incorporate it in all the different areas of the classrooms. He got to do a reading day with the library last year with Mrs. Hagavine. She read to all the classes. It was actually a book about Cooper that was special ordered. And so he got to visit and hang out. He was like in heaven. He could not believe how good it was. 50 kids trying to rub his belly was like a dream for him. So, let's see. Last year I did a project with all my HA kids. They all wrote Cooper stories. And you'll notice in the background, this is one of his favorites that he likes to hang out with. He actually fell asleep while she was reading her story to him because they read them, they wrote them, they recorded them. And he actually passed his therapy dog test last May, a day before he turned 2. So this year we started the year. I partnered with Mrs. Parks, the SEL teacher. We did lessons to every single kid in both elementary buildings on how to treat Cooper. So this is just one of the slides we did this year, talking about how we approach it all in the hallway, because what we noticed was when kids saw in the hallway, everybody would like run to him. They would be like, whoa, he thought they were like, this is a little intimidating. So we talked about it. We went over the expectations. How do we approach him? We always ask, things like that. So this is just what we talked about with kids. and they have been fabulous this year about not overwhelming them. He loves Mr. Joe at JSC, not that anybody doesn't love Mr. Joe, but he and Mr. Joe have a special connection. Again, like I said, between classes, he kind of just chills. We are certified legal lines through therapy dogs. We do have to make outside visits. We're kind of excited about that. We've only made 2 outside visits outside of the school. We've definitely noticed kids are kind of his niche. We did make a visit to a physical therapy office over the summer, kind of trying out our first visit, and he loves it. He's in his element. We went to Brownies and Books the other night, and he just loves the attention. My kids kind of make fun of him and says he kind of has a strut to him. Okay, occasionally I do get a little jealous that nobody notices when I walk in the room, but it's all good. So, any questions?
Can I make a comment and add to that?
Yes, please. And you have some comments about how
Principal of UCE, not only is it really great to see how Cooper's incorporated in the curriculum of both buildings, but also he's also a tool. And I actually watched this in action. It was the most amazing thing I had ever seen. We had a student who was escalated, who was really having a rough time, and Cooper sensed it and immediately went to him and immediately brought it down. It was the most wonderful, it gave me goosebumps actually to watch it. So our kids really do love him, they really do connect with him. He's a great tool also just to help our kids even in a social emotional aspect.
Yeah.
So thank you,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Ashland, for sharing him with us.
He knows before, I know. He knows something's wrong. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can sense it in adults too. And then he'll just come and sit in front of you. He wants to like hold your hand and he like.
That is his favorite thing to do. He wants you to hold his paws and he wants you to stare in his eyes, tell him all your problems. He does. He's like, I have a million pictures of him just hold my paws, look at me.
Oh, Dr. Cooper.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have Mr. Gage, who took a trip that I'm sure we all would love to take. I don't know if driving, I guess driving.
Nice. Okay, good evening. Thank you. Gosh, I think the last time I was in this room, your brother was on the Madball team. Doing this. Okay. Well, thank you for your education. Yes, I'm at Gage, top 5th, top 4th, and now in physical education. But don't worry, I'm still having a great time with these kids. Still working hard. And also, I do plan on, I know 4th and 5th, they cover this, so I do plan on coming into the rooms, and I'd love to, if they want to invite me, just to share more with the kids. I've already spoken with almost every class. It's come up somehow with the kids. Okay, so Lewis and Clark, here's some nice artwork from the Art of Dutch. Yes, from this girl right here, this is Gloria. So let me click this, I'm gonna forget it, I'm gonna click. All right, we rented this unit from a place up in Colombo, Michigan. We bought a little trailer from, and they were just awesome to work with. So I rented this unit. I'm going to read the mission statement real quick just to give you an idea of what this was. The title was Many Voices, One Journey, and this was kind of got that being echoed through the bicentennial years back of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Now, when I was reading this, as I was kind of preparing things, I was like, that's perfect. I'm going to use that. And this was the 50-word mission statement we had to have. I'll share that with you on that lab. This project centered around the human's ability to explore, learn, ponder, and share. I plan to rent an RV and follow the trail of one of the greatest expeditions in the history of the United States, which I truly believe that it is. And after going 5,500 miles across the country and back, it still blows my mind to think that this group of 40-some individuals covered this ground, this territory in boat and foot, and a little bit of horseback. And even that portage that they had to take at Great Falls, just unreal. And it was completely unknown. And this is something that I love, and that has, grabbed me when I was a late teenager and started just, wandering this country, North America, of just something new every day. Now, this was new every day, but also, your life is something on the line with this. But anyways, 5,300 miles, excuse me. I think it was 55 because Alexa put me over this trip. She's like, we're gonna go see Mount Rushmore. I'm driving, and she kept reminding me, hey, I think that exit's coming up for Rushmore. We gotta stick the itinerary. I at the last second, I pulled off and we went to Mount Rushmore. And she was happy. I would never heard the end of it. So I got to move through this here. I'm just going to flip through these slides. But recently, and I want to share this. Recently, I heard something. He was a famous guy, being interviewed, asked a question, and he said it was kind of strangely worded. I think it was something like, "Who are you jealous of?" Kind of weird wording. I think something better would be, "When did you realize your purpose in your life?" And his response, sorry, and she's sitting here, woo! I was going to say, "Get it together, man." He said, "When I had kids at home to take care of, that's what I'm jealous of. People with kids at home." And I was like, "Wow, what a great thing to say," because that's the truth, And honestly, I feel the same about all these kids in the buildings. I really do, honestly. I love working with them. This is definitely what I'm called to do for sure. And yeah, when he said that, I was like, "Wow, that's one of the best answers I've heard in a long time." But it's very true for anybody that I think loves their children, right? And some days, and we're like, "Man, we nailed it," right? And some days I'm just like, "Lord help me, I don't know what I'm doing here." Right? But anyways, let's get through some of these pictures. Just a new adventure every day. We stayed at basically 2 nights each stop of the way. And it was a lot of driving. Normally we like to, because we love traveling and camping and stuff, but we're in town, so this was nice. But it was that and then driving. Some days 500, 600 miles. So it was quite a bit of driving, more so than we normally do. But if we were going to do this and see this in this amount of time and budget, that's what we had to do. But yeah, hiking every day. This was Theodore Roosevelt out in North Dakota. Beautiful. This is Badlands, but it's Badlands with a lot more green than Badlands National Park. Probably one of the coolest places we stopped. It was all beautiful. This was wonderful. Wildlife all over the place. Here's some more. Little Missouri River right behind our little campsite. We're just laying down the river all day. It's beautiful. Okay, this is Lewis and Clark Center where, gosh, I think this was Great Falls. Does that sound right? Great Falls.
Like your t-shirt.
Yes. There it is again. This was just, they had the whole, scene set up with them before they do it. Figuring out how, because they didn't know, how are we going to cross these 5 massive waterfalls? And I forget the amount of time it took, but it was months, I believe. To Portage, all these waterfalls. They're moving travel. They had to ditch this after a while because, the rivers were just getting a little bit too small. And then obviously hit the Rocky Mountains. This is still Great Falls, more cool stuff. Nice bronze statue. And it's Chicago, yeah. I know, there's some debate in this too. Even this one guy who took this tour on his word, he goes, "I'm not going to debate anybody about the name." And I said, okay, that sounds good to me. Some nice pictures. Me reading something about art. Oh, this was really cool. This was, okay, so Gates Mountain Tour. This boat captain was quite a character. Met all sorts of people. I couldn't believe the stories this guy had. And if I'm going too long, just start to make some nice stories. Because I can never. Anyways, this was awesome. This was so beautiful. We took this tour right in between, and you got these limestone cliffs just coming straight up on both sides. And he just had some great stories about some really interesting, really cool, famous authors and different people that have come to take this trip. Some more using this. Just a nice photo. Okay, Columbia River, pretty sweet river, huge, huge. It's kind of like, I'm thinking the Slave River and I think the Peace River up in Canada. Just the biggest rivers I've ever seen, and this was right there with it. This was really nice, Lolo Pass, pretty intense. This is when they were getting through the Rockies, and no boats at that point, for sure. Cape Disappointment was the end of the line on the coast. Beautiful beach, really nice up there right across, north of the river up in Washington. Nice sunset. Family. They have a nice interpretive center right up there, right off the coast. Again, no Cape Disappointment. Funny pictures. Yeah. See all this. Snake River, Idaho. Really nice. Caves, Lewis and Clark Cabin State Park. Awesome. I mean, you know, and pictures, yeah, you're right. Just being there is the incredible thing. Pictures can give you a little bit of an idea. This is beautiful. We were getting up in the mountains as much as we could. There's Badlands, Badlands National Park. Not really on the tour, but we were just a little bit off and we got past that. Okay, this is getting towards the end of the trip, hanging out in the river, and I think that might be it. But anyways, she picked up a few books, and she was like, I said, yeah, we'll slide thing together. So this was it. But anyways, thank you all so much. It was a wonderful trip, and yes, any teachers I'm talking to, I encourage you to do it. I was rejected a few times, and it hurts a little bit, but I mean, I don't really even want to give me 10 grand to buy a bunch of woodworking machines. I figured that after the second time, like, oh, and then I read something. Only 20% of the funds are going to go towards something you're actually physically keeping. I said, whoops, I'm going to change that. But keep at it, stay committed, and yeah, hopefully it works out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dave. And thank you. What did you go?
Oh, 22 days was the rental that year.
Would you say that was like if somebody wanted to do this?
Oh gosh, it was too fast.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I mean, any of those places we could have stayed, you know, a week, easy, but it was somewhat, I mean, that was a lot of driving, you know, but yeah, you could just do little, and talking to some people, they did little stretches like, hey, we did this part this summer, we did this part a different summer, so it can definitely be extended, yes, but it was wonderful. Great trip.
And for both of these presentations, principal just heard, so you just heard their offer. So if
Yes.
middle school would like a visit from Cooper, elementary, middle,
Yeah.
along those lines of
Already got
students
the
with
sign-in
social
sheet,
studies.
right?
There's a story to link it to, it brings it to real life with kids, so.
Yes.
Really appreciate it. But truthfully, the teacher grant purpose is not necessarily to bring it back to students.
Right.
It truly is for teacher renewal.
Yes.
And they really hone in on that. It's wonderful because it's in our heart and who we are in our DNA to bring it back and share it with kids.
Yeah.
But truthfully, the purpose of these grants is for renewal for our community, so.
And as you can see, they're
I
both
think
gloves.
we both experienced it, so that's awesome. Thank you very much, appreciate it. What was your favorite part? Camper, I think.
Oh, yeah, she enjoyed that.
All right, well, thank you guys very much. If you want to stay, you're welcome to stay for the information. Now, we're going to start the rest of the agenda.
Thank you, we're gonna head out. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Public expression agenda items only, by any public expression. Seeing none, we'll move on to consent agenda.
All right, in the consent agenda, you'll see the approval of August minutes, payroll and claims, restructuring hearings, personnel report. And you'll notice that we have added volunteer coaches to that, which we'll continue to do that. Just a reminder that our volunteer coaches go through our extensive background check, the same one that we require for our employees. And we want to make sure that our volunteer coaches and the community is aware that they go through training, they have to do the annual trainings. If they're athletic coaches, they also have to required to complete the IHSA required videos as well and trainings. Then finally, we have grants. This year, we have earned for the second year in a row, the ISTA grant, and very excited and thank Mrs. Asher and working with the union on what they wanted to apply for, and together we wrote the grant and we were awarded it again. It's $10,000. Last year, we're doing something similar. It's going to help with our lunch at our professional development day on November 4th. It's also going to help continued work with our professional learning communities that we've started this year, as well as a keynote speaker on that day. So we're really excited to receive that again. And finally, gifts and donations. A huge thank you to our families and communities who have donated there as well. And I don't have any other.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to new business.
Mrs. Barnes, your introduction.
I can't remember. Were you guys not at a board meeting?
No, you weren't at a board meeting.
I leaned over.
Sorry.
We'll be good. We're good. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Asher.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now is the time that we would love for you to introduce yourselves. As I believe you were also, we started the year on time, and so you both have been doing an excellent job in 3rd and 5th grade, right? And I visited your classrooms and seen what you're doing, and you're doing a great job, but I would love for you to formally introduce yourself to the board. It doesn't matter to me.
Hi, I'm Delaney Hintz. Thank you so much for taking the time to have me here and for approving my contract. I am just thrilled to be a part of the district. And this year is off to a fantastic start. Our 5th graders are so much fun. They bring such a fun energy. It's just, I'm sorry, my class has 14 boys, and so it's a very high energy class. Poor Gloria is also in my class, and she definitely is on the quiet side. And I catch her eye several times throughout the day being like, are you still okay over there? Because she's so quiet. But we're having a great time. At UCE, we rotate classes for 5th grade. So there are 3 5th grade teachers, and one of us teaches math to all of the 5th graders at the school. One of us teaches social studies and science, and I teach writing and grammar. And I appreciate the opportunity to do that. Before becoming a teacher, I was a stay-at-home mom, and then before that I worked in advertising, and I originally got my undergrad degree in public relations and marketing. And working in advertising, I did a lot with copywriters. I worked a lot with copywriters and proofreading and taking things to actually publish it before print media was totally dead. And because as I tell the kids, this is my midlife crisis, is to be a teacher in their classroom. But it's what I've always wanted to do. But it's nice. I'm finding that I'm actually tapping into a lot of that advertising and print media work on a daily basis and working with the kids through grammar. And we're working on proofreading on a daily basis, which really helps with the grammar. And it becomes almost like a scavenger hunt for the kids on a daily basis of, can we find all the errors in our daily paragraph? So doing that with the classes every day is one of the highlights. And I just geek out when we have something new. So I'm sorry, I'm also a mom. I have four boys of my own, so I'm sorry that I wasn't here last time, but mom duties kicked in, and in fact, I'm off here in a little bit to go grab my oldest from Pop Warner football practice. But thank you. I love the community. I'm just on the other side of the district in Valpo, but it's a really quick drive, and the community here, the families here, what you guys have created here, it's something really, really special. And I don't think that you can find it just anywhere. I think that it's really unique to the area, and being as welcomed immediately as I have been has just been, I know I'm going to be here for a really long time. This is just, I've been so welcomed and so at ease, and I'm having so much fun with the kids. We're a month in, and I already know that I don't plan on going anywhere. So I'm putting down roots, and I want to say thank you guys so much for the opportunity to do so.
Please
Please excuse me being nervous. I'm only confident in front of littles, so sorry. I don't know how to speak to adults properly, so that's my fault. My name is Savannah Krolak. I am a third grade teacher over at Union Center Elementary. This is my first year teaching. I recently graduated from Purdue University, West Lafayette. Boiler up always. I don't allow any IU in my classroom. Jokes, of course, jokes, of course. Again, this is my first year teaching, so I just want to personally thank Union Township for allowing me and really trusting me with my first class of third graders. I absolutely love it here. I love the small community coming from a larger school district in Lafayette and Tippecanoe County. It's definitely, I love the smaller feel. Just a quick few things about me. I'm a dog mom, 2 dogs. So, you know, I love to see Cooper in the hallways. He gets me through it sometimes. First year teacher gets me through it. I'm also a non-commissioned officer in the Indiana Army National Guard. So leadership on that side. So I am quite busy, but yeah, that's pretty much all about me. I don't know what else to really say. So I really appreciate this, and thank you for not making me even more nervous. Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much for coming, and I will say that we will do a picture. Thank you very much. And you will never forget your first class. You absolutely won't. So very exciting. We're very excited to have you, and we'll get a picture. I would love it.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for a picture. I'm still in
You look
spirit here. I would have changed.
Listen, I got to go ahead and all and full sweater day. Yes.
At least they were black and white.
Thank you.
It's adorable. You're like models. It's wonderful.
You guys.
And please know, you're welcome to stay too, but you do not have to. I know football mom's calling and all the other planning for tomorrow. Project updates. All right, project updates. These are the big projects that we're working on. We have a to-do list, our punch list item is still going out at our new complex. But when the big items, we're still working on the installation and the final drawings for our ADA compliant bleachers that will be at our football stadium. Our weight room is actually complete. So we've received some other extra items that we had to get done. Those are done. We are now looking at working with our administrative team to develop systems and protocols and schedules of students using our facility in our new weight room, as well as making sure that we keep it nice and something, a place that we can be proud of for many years to come. Kids are already in there and really enjoying it. So we're excited about our weight room. The middle school gym, we have painted and finished. We're still working on the coving. There's a couple areas in the floor that we've also noticed just in walking around. I'm not sure if that's how that's supposed to be. So they're coming out to check out that and give us some feedback on if anything needs to be changed.
Next on the agenda is the public hearing on the 2025 budget. At this time, I will ask Mr. Cochran to review the proposed budget as advertised on Gateway and posted to the corporation website.
So yes, good afternoon. Last month we had our budget presentation, and after the budget presentation, we have to post our budget in Gateway 10 days before our public hearing, which was posted right there the 1st of September. So in Gateway, we budget for 5 funds in Union Township. The first fund we're going to talk about is the education fund. This includes appropriations for instructional programs, salaries, benefits for teachers, aides, nurses, school counselors, library staff. Also salaries and benefits for principals, their office staff, and program costs for alt ed, vocational ed, and special ed. Those all come out of the education fund. The 2026 education fund is advertised in the amount of $11,857,250. The education fund budget does include increases for staff adjustments, salaries, and the rising costs of healthcare. State tuition support that we expect to get from our state budget workshop is estimated to be $11,307,289. That's based on the ADM count of 1,400 students, which would be up for us. Summer school revenue is estimated at $20,000. And local miscellaneous revenue, which is revenue we receive from operating our preschool program and revenue that we receive in interest on investments throughout the year. That gives us $11,827,289 in revenue. We do typically transfer 15% from our ed to ops fund. So $10,131,195 would be the education fund amount, leaving deficit in that fund. That would be our cash reserves, and we always estimate our revenues to be low and our expenses to be high for the year. So while those numbers look like there's a large deficit, there will not actually be a large deficit in the fund when we get through the year. But it just gives us the appropriation to cover expenses if they do come up. The second fund we talk about is the referendum fund. Again, so supportive, appreciative of our community for being supportive and providing us with the referendum and trusting us with those extra dollars helps us operate. So the referendum fund primarily includes staff and programs needed to educate students in Union Township. Includes some teaching positions, includes our BCAs, arts programs. Those are all things we compensate or pay out of the referendum fund. Our referendum fund is going to be advertised in the amount of $2,162,894, and this is our 5th of 7 years that we have this fund. Our third fund is the debt service fund. The debt service helps us raise money and revenues to pay our debts for outstanding bond issues. Those include our 2010 qualified school construction bonds, 2020 UCD building project, Series 21 Wheeler High School and transportation building project, 22 UCD building project, and the 23 outdoor athletics project. And that also had to include our potential GEO bond that we had discussed last month. So the debt service fund is advertised at about $5,132,000. The DLGF will knock that down to whatever the levy is that is necessary. So again, we advertise high, so we make sure we collect all the dollars we possibly can to pay those debts. Our next fund is the school pension debt. This is from a retirement severance bond debt that we took out in 2006. This will be our last year of the school pension. I'm really excited for that. That is advertised amount of $87,195. That is a tax neutral fund. The money that is generated there just comes directly off of what we could have received in the operations fund. So that's why we decided it's the last year. And lastly, our operations fund is comprised of the costs of the district not directly related to the classroom. The former capital projects fund, transportation fund, and bus replacement fund, all combined into one operations fund. So those funds are all included now. The capital projects plan portion of this includes categories for land acquisition, development, professional services, building improvements, emergency allocations, sports facilities, service agreements, utilities, building insurance, technology, personal special ed, vocational ed, and alternative ed room rental that we have. This fund also supports our transportation salaries and benefits for our drivers and our monitoring personnel. Also pays for the insurance for our buses, bus repairs, tires, fuel, and etc. The bus replacement plan is also a part of this. In our budget for this year, we do not have a bus included in our 26 budget. We're working with our transportation director on that. And our total budget for the operations fund is advertised at $5,594,000. Questions from the board?
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. We will now open the budget hearing for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board on the 2025 budget, please state your name and address for the record when recognized. Seeing none, we'll move on. The board will take formal action on the budget at its October meeting. We are now going to move on to the collective bargaining team.
Okay, so annually, as we begin bargaining, we always ask the board to approve the team. The team will consist of me, Mr. Cochran, and our counsel, Mrs. Pilar. So the next one to be approved.
With a motion to approve the team.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Overnight field trips.
There's a correction in that. That should say overnight and out-of-state field trips. I apologize for that. We have 2 field trips. Each school is going to Camp Goodfellow, and they spend the night there. And then the other additional approval is for an out-of-state choir performance, and so we'll need approval for all 3 of those.
Motion to approve field trips?
Second?
Any discussion?
Camp Goodfellow, such a great trip.
Excited.
Definite memories. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The elementary learning report.
All right, so just a reminder, we are going to have each building level will be presenting on their learning at their schools, celebrating their data, talking about some school improvement points. And this evening, we have Mrs. Haynes from JSC. Mrs. Klein from UCB.
Two for the price of one, so we actually bounce off each other. So I'm Jenna Klein, principal of UCE.
And I'm Mr. Higgins, principal at Johnson Moravich.
And I will say, we've got a lot to celebrate, as you're gonna see from our data. None of this would not have been possible without the support of our board, upper administration, our amazingly dedicated teachers, the effort of our students, the support of their families, and of the community. And it really is obvious all across the board, from every level, all stakeholders really hold education as the highest priority.
So we're gonna start with our lowest state testing that we do, which is iRead. We have our 3rd graders have to take iRead testing. And as we're looking at this is one of our, beautiful, our state assessments for this last year that we just finished up. And in Porter County, we ended up ranking 4th, which is just in ours. Our state average was 86.5%, and we were at 96.5% of passing rate. And that was from both of our schools. As we go through and we're going to talk about this, our students who did not pass though, we'll share here, they are students that qualify for a good cause exemption that we'll talk about. And those were students that we identified, we already knew where they were going for and how we can support them. We support them through our reading, so this is also our Wonders textbook. This is not just 3rd grade, this is our kindergarten through 5th grade, so our iLearn that we'll talk about too uses the similar curriculum. This is very science of reading driven, and it works with all of that comprehension and that heavy hitting information that we need for our 3rd grade and beyond. Interventions, when we have students that don't pass our iRead testing or any of our in-class curriculum, we use small group instruction. All of our teachers do this too to help support as needed. So this is something that is available to all students. We even have some cushion supports or some pull-out supports that maybe need some more intense interventions. And again, the science of reading focus of our teachers, and we have been ahead of the curve on that. I know we talked about that for the last couple of years about the new legislation, but our teachers have been doing this. And I think that that's where we've already been outscoring much of the state on our iRead. 2nd grade now has to take the iRead test too. It is harmless, it doesn't hurt them to take it. It gives us information, and then if they pass it in 2nd grade, they don't have to do it in 3rd grade. We were piloting that for the last couple of years, and now everybody's doing it, so we were ahead of the game again on that. When they give you the information, you pass, or you're on track to pass in 3rd grade, or you are an at-risk student. And again, whenever we get anybody who's at risk, we're already supporting them with some interventions through MTSS, reading success, through classroom small groups. We already have identified them through our K2 reading assessments, their benchmarks, the NWA, all of the things that we use. Summer school focus, if they didn't pass iRead, then they had to go to summer school for that new legislation. And all of those teachers have to have that science of reading endorsement on their licensure in order to teach that. So we focus on reading fluency and comprehension. We had our 3rd graders do that. We also did math because we feel that both are important too for our summer school. And then our 2nd graders also who didn't pass had that opportunity to do the reading support in summer school. Again, new iRead legislation. I know we've heard about this and there's a lot going on. iRead is a huge piece for Indiana 3rd graders to pass, and that's a lot of pressure on a little kid, but we support them, and most of ours, again, as you can see, most of our kids pass. of where we're heading and where we're going. If they don't pass, some of the things that we can do, so we did have more at the spring testing, we tested in March. They can retest in third grade twice. So in that summertime block that they have. And it starts in May and then it goes through June. So we are able to test a first round during school after we've done some in school from March to have some intense interventions and then let them retest. And most of them passed from there. Again, if they didn't, then they went to summer school and got a nice core 2 weeks of, 2 or 3 weeks, of reading. And then they took that test again. And then we had many more passing as well. So those that didn't were that good cause exemption. And you can get that on a lot of things, a lot of different ways. Most of our students are our students who have IEPs and we know that that reading is a struggle, not because they can't, because we know that we need to be able to support them. So they get to still continue to go on into the next grade, even though they didn't pass. Indiana legislation says by 7th grade, they have to keep taking it. So if they need to, eventually, then we might have to have them still take that test, but it doesn't withhold them from continuing on in their educational career. So if for some reason they don't qualify for that, then we do have to retain them based on different criteria, but we have not had any students that have fallen under that realm. So going from I read to I learn. So this is that 3 through 5 test. So again, our little third graders are taking a lot of state testing. We piloted those I learn checkpoints for 4th and 5th grade last year, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So that when we can give our 3rd grade break this year, it will be 3 through 5. But on our I learn data, again, much to celebrate as we were talking about the success that you'll see here. So in our Porter County schools, we ranked 2nd overall for 3 through 8 for math and ELA. So in our Porter County Corporation. In elementary, just looking at our realm, in 3 through 5, we're in the top 3 schools in all of those grades. So in 3rd grade for reading, we were at a 61%. We got 1st in our Porter County area for reading. Way above state average at 40% is our state average to our 61%. Then in 4th grade, we were at 55.6%. And again, we got 3rd, and then we also have 3rd in 5th grade. We are at our 59.7%. Again, about a 40% passing rate in the state. So we are heads and tails above where they are.
If you look at our I Learn math scores, very similarly, again, you can see that we performed well above our state averages. So in 3rd grade, first of all, we came up 2nd for math in all of Porter County, which is great. Our 3rd graders scored 69.3%, which is well above the 51.5% for the state average. 80.6%, so we were actually 1st in Porter County for our 4th grade math scores, well above the 49.2% as the state average, which is absolutely outstanding. And then we scored 63.9%, came in 3rd place in Porter County, well above the 41.5%. So you can see, not only were we performing really well in Porter County, but even statewide, we are really performing well above our state averages in both areas.
So for speaking of that in our I Learn, as we were looking through this, we got really curious and we just kept digging deeper. So then we sorted all the schools in Indiana because I was like, well, how well do we do in the whole of Indiana? Because I'm just a curious guy. So with our state average in 3rd grade, we were 14th district in the state out of 392 schools. So that's pretty incredible. We were 41st in 4th grade, and so as we're going through, still amazing, 392 schools, and 25th in 3rd grade. Again, as we're looking through the state, not just, I'm gonna cover these up so that way when middle school talks, they don't say this under. So, but then overall as the state, we were 13th in the district overall for grades 3 through 8. So like amazing things are happening in our school district.
And then if you look at our I Learn math scores, also similarly, so we are in 3rd grade, we were at 69.3%. We came in 44th out of 392 districts. In 4th grade, we were 5th in the state out of 392 districts. And in fifth grade, we were 33rd out of 392. Again, performing well above state averages, did such an incredible job. And just as well as middle school, which we will talk about at another time. So talking about our instructional focuses, so I know that Mrs. Barnes had talked a little bit about PLCs. I have done PLCs in a previous district, and I've done them here. And so being able to see how we have rolled this out, I really feel like we are doing this in the exact right way. Number one, we started out by training our admin administrative team. Then in August, we brought in our PLC leaders, and we had Carrie Rosebrock come in and help train them as well. Then for the first 3 PLC meetings, Kristen and I took our whole staff and we trained them, the teachers. What are PLCs? What's the purpose of them? Why are we doing them? We're such a high performing district. Why would we need to do this? We're doing such a great job. We need to continue that growth because as the higher we achieve, it's harder to make that growth. So this is one way of really edging us up. And I really feel like we are on the right track. So we are doing those PLCs at every grade level by building. We had 1 PLC per building, our actual PLC after the training last week. Today was our first day where we had JSC and UCE together meeting virtually to discuss things. I was part of the 4th grade team. She was sitting in on the 5th grade team. I have to tell you, it gave me goosebumps how the absolutely amazing conversations that were taking place, the collaboration, the bringing up down of data, not only talking about how to provide interventions for students who aren't quite there yet, how to extend it for those kids who already know, how to create those exceptional learning experiences for our kids so they can continue to grow.
And just that conversation too about data, about how do we teach this and how do we do this better. It was wonderful to hear, and the teachers had even said they didn't feel like it was one side and one school dominated the other. They were all able to hear each other and kind of get some information. So even if we talk about things as we have our aligned arrows of where we're going, but we talk about our assessments lining up, are we following those blueprints so we're teaching the right things to get to where we need to be, but how they teach can be up to them as individuals. We're not taking away any of that autonomy of their teaching style, but we are trying to make sure that it doesn't matter if you're a JSC kid or a Union Center kid, you are winning the same high expectations because our teachers are working on it. And they were fabulous. The 5th grade team being majority of new, I had mentioned to both of them, you wouldn't even know that they were all new novice educators. They were talking like legit educators that have been here working kid focused. It was very, very impressive.
And also just talking about PLCs, we talk about, it's not about everybody doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. You have that tight, loose, tight model, which is, to me has been the real game changer between just kind of building the plane as we fly it and really being thoughtful how we go about doing this. And one of the things that Carrie Rosebach really helped us through was adding that there are 4 essential questions. What do we want them to know? How do we know that they know that they've learned it? What do we do when they don't know it? What do we do when they've learned it? How are we going to extend those things? But there's one key question, and that was, what are our anticipated struggles? Which, having gone through PLCs as both a teacher and an administrator, was a game changer, because there are going to be anticipated struggles. It helps you kind of do some backwards planning. It helps you anticipate where the kids are going to fall down, or maybe where they might need some more scaffolding. So it's really, really helpful. Going on to school improvement teams. So we have our building leadership teams and talking about data and how we're going to be using that to create more learning experiences. Technology pathways. Our HA teacher Mrs. Asher has been absolutely wonderful as a resource, also helping extend those activities for our students who already have those skills. Building the stamina and intensity of 4th and 5th grades and being able to take multiple passages, longer writing passages. What our kids are doing in writing, and I will tell you, as impressive as our iLearn scores are, writing was not graded this year. I would put our students writing up against anybody in the state. They are amazing writers. It has been such a focus between 6+1 in our writing curriculum. Building that stamina, it's really impressive what our kids are able to do. It's one thing when I first came here last year that was it was mind-blowing to me how much these kids write and how well they write. And that's our teachers leading that wonderful job. Again, 6+1 traits, which our new teachers are going to be trained in November 4th as part of that TV day as well. So they can be brought in on that. Math problem solving, multi-step math problems, being able to apply those high-level skills. constant instructional support for students and teachers in math and ELA. And our key focus is working together using student data and assessments to identify growth, anticipated struggles, and drive instructional practices. Again, I cannot thank the board enough and our upward admin enough for supporting things like having instructional assistants, being able to provide these resources for our kids because they really do make all of the difference.
And we're talking, this seems like a lot when we have this on here, but one of the things that we really value too as a corporation that's coming down as an admin team and then coming down to us and coming to teachers is the PLC focus, because all of the admin that we, or all of the professional that we do for math, for reading, for writing, it goes into that instruction. So this year they have been giving us the time, and thank you to the union for agreeing to kind of adjust some times to help out too, because we need the time together and making that time sacred to focus on what they need as teachers to help our kids has just been very powerful already, and just the 2 weeks that we've really been doing there, being the training part. So thrilled to see where that's going, and it doesn't feel like one more thing. We talk about getting just 1% better every day to make huge gains. So we just get a little bit better instead of trying to throw out everything and do better all the time. And we'll see, and I think that as we go through, I know that we kind of, on those data that we see between Valparaiso and Duneland, we were outranking them before too, and I know that they had been working on PLC, so you could see how they were creeping up on us, just that little bit of 1%. But if we keep doing the awesome stuff we're doing, plus looking at a little bit better, we're gonna be unstoppable.
Agreed.
So checkpoints, as I was talking about, these are standard driven for where we're looking at for ELA and for math. So we take them 3 times in the fall, the winter, and the spring. One of the things I also just really value about our discussion that we had last year while piloting it versus other schools too, is we take it toward the end. So they are standard based, and our curriculum maps that we're talking about here are aligned with them. We use the blueprints. We were actually pretty aligned as we were doing all that curriculum mapping work of the last year, and we're continuing. It's not finished. It kind of adapts and changes. But as we're looking there, they are aligned. We might have had to switch some things to what was tested, but we were along the same sets there. So in like the fall, when they're talking about math, so for 5th grade, they are teaching on math facts and volume. So we're sure to teach that. We take it toward the end of that window to prove that we've taught that, and then what do our kids know? And if they're falling short, the neat thing about the checkpoints is they can take it again to see, like, okay, as we have practice, we need more. Again, just now that we go, this is focused on math and ELA. There's a reduced length of our now summative test, which will be great. And so there's more intentional focus on standards and what are we looking for, and it doesn't feel so daunting in the spring. So as we get more information, they'll be there. Our K through 2 is only doing NWA there instead of, as our checkpoints are doing older grades. So we've got so many things aligned and supporting that our schools are going to be successful. I think, yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, you guys should be paper, just kidding.
Oh,
sure. We'll run this up.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect, thank you very much. Great job.
Yeah.
A couple things I just wanted to mention. Carrie Rose Broccoli, she was a administrator, principal, teacher in Brownsburg, and decided to be a consultant, and wrote a book called Arrows. And so that's what the administrative team read that book. We had many teachers who asked to read that book after she gave me this book last year. And she does a whole training on PLCs, and through our Title II grant, which is all based on professional development, that's how we were able to secure her and partner with her. We're going to keep that consistency going now that she's met our principals. The other thing that I wanted to point out in their report was that last year, if you remember, the checkpoints were based on the new assessment and new standards. However, the summative was the old summative. So this is the first year that that is completely updated. So
And we're still not entirely sure what's going to be on there yet. So they say it's going to be reduced and it'll be more focused, but.
And we do have a blueprint, so we do know what skills they're going to be, but yes. But
Yeah,
it's
the same
the
actual
actual test.
And it's supposed to be shorter, so that's what we're looking forward to.
thank you both and congratulations. And really do, I can echo what you said about working together with the staff. We really came as a team and said PLCs are really important, and met with the union, met with discussion reps, met with teachers, and they have worked with us because a really solid PLC needs about 45 minutes weekly. So our elementaries and our high school and our middle school have all said they would come in early to make sure that happened every Wednesday. So our entire district does this every Wednesday. And then we present flex time, so then they leave a little early after the kids are gone. But there was a window in the morning and a window in the afternoon without children. And so now they come a little early and then they're able to leave before. Or the elementary comes a little late on a couple days to make up for that 15. So it's really worked out well, and I love it because I know every Wednesday that's what our corporation is doing. And felt like that was a strong format. Okay. Thank you. Congrats on great scores.
Resolution in support of military families.
School improvement plan first.
Oh, no, school improvement.
No problem. All right, school improvement plans. Just a reminder, they've been referred to as PL 221 plans in the past. I like calling them school improvement plans because that's exactly what they are. These are no longer required to be on our website or uploaded to a portal, if you will, for the Department of Education. However, I think that the conversation and the guide that these develop, if they're developed correctly, which they are at our schools, are really a tool that's used to monitor progress, refer back to, and bring your staff together on what goals you're looking for. So you'll see that you have one from each school, and we would ask that the board present that. And again, these are something that I want to make sure that the community knows what we're working on, our staffs know, and our principals continue to monitor these and work with the leadership teams on making sure we're updating our goals and reaching our goals.
Do we have a motion to approve the school improvement plans?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution in support of military families.
Okay, so this resolution that we have before you is actually part of a larger process, which is that the DOE allows for an application by school to apply to be designated as and recognized as a Purple Star school. When I actually, Mr. Hanaway brought this to my attention and said, Mrs. Barnes, you know that we really do a lot of these already. And so I said, oh, well, let's look into it a little farther. And I did. There were a couple things that we still have to do, but a lot of it we're doing. And so I wanted to formally have us apply as a district, but each school corporation applied. And these are the things that we have to do. We have to develop a point of contact, grade level training for that point of contact. They provide free training. It's some videos that have to be watched. A dedicated web page, which is something that we will still need to work on. We don't have that. Host an annual military program. We do that. Public military display. We have now our wonderful one at the high school, and we'll work on those elementaries and middle. And then the school board resolution that's in front of you, and then a guaranteed interview for open positions. So any military or military family member that applies for a position and indicates such that we're saying that we will offer them an interview. So at this time, I'm looking for the board to approve the resolution as is stated in your packet.
Do I have a motion to adopt the resolution as presented?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great. We will apply for those, and this will be for next year, and then come back and hopefully we'll be designated as each school for them.
Gateway ECA reports.
These are annual reports that are loaded into Gateway for our extracurricular accounts at each building. These are managed by our secretaries and treasurers at each building. These reports measure the funds that go in and out of our schools in those extracurricular accounts. We do not need approval for those. I just wanted to let you know those have been updated and what those were.
Institutional memberships.
Every year, annually, these memberships for our administration and for myself provide for our administrators to go to conferences. It also provides for professional development for us to continue to lead our buildings and lead them very well. So thank you for, would ask for you to approve those, and then thank you as well.
Do I have a motion to approve the membership payments?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Memorandum of Understanding with Ivy Tech.
This doesn't require board action, but I wanted to make sure that we bring all of our memorandums of understanding with the schools that we work with. So this one is for Ivy Tech, and this identifies instructors who will be teaching our dual credit courses at the high school. Just a reminder that this also helps us fulfill our goal of increasing the number of students who complete the Indiana College Core. And in future, it will help us with our students who will, our goal of receiving that seal with the new diploma requirements. Also, wanted to let you know that we do partner with PNW, IU, and Vincennes for our vocational.
Design Criteria Developer.
Okay, we have been talking at length for the last several board meetings of a possible project and how we would finance that, and we're in that process. We want to move forward with this so that, seeing that that is approved at a future board meeting, we have these other steps in place. Law requires us to decide on what project build we'll use. We would like to use the design build, and that requires a licensed architect, registered engineer to serve in the role of the design criteria developer to prepare the technical criteria. In the past, we've used the CMC format. The main difference of this houses the architect, the engineer, and the design team all under one contract. So that is what we'll use. We are proposing this evening that we will contract with the Rollins Group LLC to serve this role for our potential upcoming projects.
We need a motion to approve the Rollins Group. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the Rollins Group? Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
This is a technical review committee, so under the design build, then we'll ask that you approve the technical review committee for those future projects. And that would be Dan Rollins as our architect and design criteria developer, Bill Scheffler as our engineer, and me as the Union Township School Corporation representative.
Do I have a motion to approve the following members on the technical review committee?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
I don't have any other.
There's no other financial report.
All right. August, as mentioned last month, was a three-pay month, so you'll see some of our budget targets change just a little bit, just ever so slightly, but they will come, or projected to come back in line by the end of the year, put us in line in our budget. So on the education side, we're slightly over budget at about 2.19%, but with no more three-pay months coming up, we should be good. And on the operations side, we went from 3% to 1.57% under budget, so we'll continue to see that go back up. That's it for this month.
Superintendent communication.
We have had a wonderful start to the school year, a month in, and a couple highlights that I wanted to bring out. We brought Gary German, the county prosecutor, into our criminal justice vocational program to give a speech that was highlighted on our website, and big support and excited experience by our vocational students in our criminal justice program. We have recently at athletics, we had a huge showing for our home opener, so thank you to all the people that were involved in that. That was an awesome experience for our kids and for our families community-wide. Then we have the popcorn parade right next, and we just kept on rolling. Along those lines, if you were able to come to the football game, you noticed that our legacy walk is getting installed. We have bricks already in, and we're having more installed, and then we've received several other companies and families who have purchased those bricks. We are hoping that the turnaround will be each month that we get a batch, that we're able to get those ordered and installed. That's the turnaround that we're expecting. And thank you again for all of our community and families who have purchased the brick. The other Bearcat highlight for athletics is that we've had several students be recognized by IHSAA for the Exemplary Athlete Award for their, you're going to remind me what it's called. No, there's an actual term for it. It's
Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship, it's right there. Yes. It's sportsmanship. They're sportsmanship. So really appreciate that. The other thing that Mrs. Crocker, AD, let me know is that our score between last year and this year has already jumped 20 points. And so we're very excited that we see that and just builds more pride in our athletics. Other things, at the elementary level, they have had their first principals breakfast, and so we're really excited that the principals and the teachers nominate students based on their successful learning traits and life skills, and they had 19 students at both schools that were able to eat breakfast with the principals, and that's always an exciting time. Finally, you probably heard, if you're an elementary parent, that we had football players come on last Friday before the home opener, last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, before the home opener, and read to our kids. And whenever they're in their uniforms, that's a huge deal. They also came to Rhymes and Books and read to students at JSC for their literacy event last week.
Yeah,
Very excited. That's all I have.
public expression?
I just want to thank the board for their support with Cooper. I know that you had to adopt a policy to bring him in as a therapy dog in training. I really appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, you've done a wonderful job, and it's an awesome program.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
A lot of benefit to it.
Thank you.
So we appreciate that. Any other board response? Next board meeting is scheduled for October 15th at 6 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Well, meeting adjourned.
Yes.